Thank you, Betsy. That was a great presentation. We are going to go ahead and switch over to Paul and Tim Lydon for the next section. So, Paul, I'll let you go ahead and take over.
Thanks, Betsy again, and again, thanks to the Regional Citizen Advisory Committee for supporting this event, and Betsy for all her work and uh, doing basically doing our tech back end, the green room, all the stuff that goes on that really makes this work, along with William. We're going to be talking about the Stewardship Foundation a bit more and the Forest Service and what volunteer opportunities and how to get involved. Tim Lydon with the Glacier District is going to join me, and we'll do our best to cover a busy summer after sort of a last summer of not much going on because of COVID. We got a lot going on this summer. So, Tim, why don't you start?
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Lydon with the Chugach National Forest, and this session here, we're going to talk about some summer projects. And I wanted to just say a word about how the Forest Service works with the Stewardship Foundation. And Paul will say more about the Stewardship Foundation part. But the Stewardship Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit, and from the Forest Service standpoint, we very much appreciate what they're doing because two sort of overarching things the Stewardship Foundation has done is by committing to doing on-the-ground conservation work in Prince William Sound, they are filling in the gaps where the Forest Service, state parks, and others don't have maybe adequate budget or staffing to handle certain things or could use some help. So they're doing that. And then as you see today with the symposium, the Stewardship Foundation is becoming a hub and bringing together lots of organizations that are critical to working in Prince William Sound. So if you look at today's symposium with the Regional Citizens Advisory Council, City of Whittier, Chugach Schools, and the foundation bringing together a symposium, that's just a great example of that. But there's also a number of commercial interests that are helping sponsor today, like Glacier Jet Ski Adventures, Discovery Tours, William Melton Productions, Girdwood Bookkeeping, and others. And I'm mentioning these because some of these organizations are working with the Forest Service directly in Prince William Sound through the Stewardship Foundation. And I'll give a couple examples, but I just want to thank the community at large that's helping with these projects that we're going to go into, because the bottom line is that, as I said earlier, the wilderness study area, if you just look at that one part of Prince William Sound, it's got a couple thousand miles of shoreline, and that's a very, very large area to take care of when it comes to marine debris or resource issues, that kind of thing. But to have something like the Stewardship Foundation and the different commercial groups and other entities that it brings together, it builds a sense of community, or it grows our sense of community around Prince William Sound, and it really helps get things done on the ground. So I just wanted to give that thanks, because I really appreciate it when I'm sitting at the Forest Service. There's just so many things going on out there that it can be overwhelming at times, but to have a partner, or what I'm really describing a series of partners, that can help quite a bit. So just looking at some notes here, excuse me, some things we have going on this summer in conjunction with the Forest Service, with the Stewardship Foundation. I'm going to go with marine debris first. And the last few years, this is a really great example of how the Stewardship Foundation is helping the Forest Service in managing the lands or taking care of them. We don't really have the staffing in place to have a very robust marine debris program. We know that marine debris is washing up in areas in Prince William Sound and within the wilderness study area. When the Stewardship Foundation came to us and offered use of the website to outreach to people, volunteers, a way of getting private boaters to join us, that helped us to be able to take on marine debris in a way that we really weren't before. And I just think that's a great example of how, when the Forest Service can work with these nonprofits, we're able to get work done that was happening on a very, very minimal level before. So this summer we have, again, for probably the third or fourth year, 2 trips we'll be doing in in Western Prince William Sound, I'm looking at a map over here to Knight Island and down to the Elrington area. And we'll be doing that with volunteers through the Stewardship Foundation. And we really encourage people with their private vessels or other means to get out there to join us. We would like to have this be a community effort. And I really need to also mention Gulf of Alaska Keeper, run by Chris Pallister and his crew. We've learned so much from them because they've been tackling marine debris in Prince William Sound for at least 15 years. And we're learning from them on ways to monitor our efforts, places to go that get repeat, deposition of marine debris. So I know that all of this is advertised on how to sign up as volunteers through the Prince William Sound Stewardship Foundation website. But marine debris is something we're really excited about because without these partners in place, we really wouldn't be able to do what we're doing there. And I know that we're making a difference because I participate in these every year, and we pull hundreds of pounds of garbage off those beaches. Trail work is another example. We have some system trails that the National Forest maintains in Western Prince William Sound on the Glacier District, and we also have a lot of trails on the road system, and those road system trails, because the amount of use that they get and because they're much longer and have more structures, they just are always going to be the priority. So Stewardship Foundation has helped us last year and again this year to work on the Schroed Lake Trail between Long Bay in Culross Passage and Three Finger Cove in Cochrane. And last year, it was probably the rainiest week of the year, and we had 4 hardy volunteers with us. And that trail, if you've hiked up from Long Bay over to the Schroed Lake Cabin, you know that by July every year, the ferns and berries, really, it's like hiking through a car wash to try to get up that to the cabin there with the amount of growth, the way it overhangs the trail. But last year we were able to take care of some deferred maintenance and really clear back that vegetation. And we'll touch that up again this summer with the Stewardship Foundation and volunteers from that group, and stay up at the cabin for a couple of days. But what we'll also do is we'll restore the trail from the lake down to Three Finger Cove this summer. And in places with the ferns and the berries and whatnot, that's so overgrown, it's pretty hard to find the trail. So we'll be making progress there. If you've been to 17 Mile Beach in Blackstone Bay the last couple of years, you see we've really made a lot of progress with the hardened sites that are there. We hardened campsites there using gravel, retaining logs, and other native materials so that we can restore eroded vegetation and also provide, basically enhance the camping opportunities there because it's a persistently wet area. And so Stewardship Foundation volunteers, along with volunteers from Chugach Adventures in Girdwood and others, Alaska Discovery, have really helped us harden those sites. So we're doing that again this year. And we're also very excited this year because we are going to very likely be installing an outhouse at Blackstone Bay, and that at 17 Mile Beach in Blackstone Bay. And that's a decision the Forest Service makes very carefully because we don't want to introduce new development to the wilderness study area. As I was saying before, we manage that area for a generally undeveloped landscape. But if you're familiar with 17 Mile Beach and Blackstone Bay, you know that it's a finite area that gets used by a lot of people, and there's not really any good options for properly disposing of human waste. So we hope to put an outhouse there this summer with the help from the Stewardship Foundation. And the Stewardship Foundation also, we partner with them on trying to get control of these dandelion patches up at Hobo. We used to do it up at View Beach in Harriman Fjord, but we're going to lay off that for a little while until the landslide situation, we know more about that. But we'll be active with the Stewardship Foundation and other partners with invasive species, and then also citizen science. And we really appreciate that. I mentioned before that when Paul asked what's coming up as far as the next steps in management of the wilderness study area, well, this monitoring protocol that is being put together helps us understand conditions across that very vast area. Like I said before, it's the size of Yellowstone National Park, just the wilderness study area itself, to give you an idea of how vast Prince William Sound is. And for us to monitor conditions out there, it's very difficult. We don't have the staff that require to do that. But through working with the Stewardship Foundation, we're able to engage citizens in citizen science, gathering the information we need through software apps that can be downloaded on your phone. And we've really enjoyed working with the public through the Stewardship Foundation to engage those citizen scientists. And one last project I'll mention is the potato garden. I'm really excited about this. If you're visiting our Girdwood office, the Glacier Ranger District in Girdwood, we recently built a couple of garden boxes. They're made out of yellow cedar that was surplus material from the Cog Hill Lake Trail project about 10 years ago. And we just made these garden boxes, and the Stewardship Foundation purchased soil and seed potatoes. Forest Service is making available the land, and we're going to grow potatoes this summer. And the yield will go to the Girdwood Food Bank, which serves Whittier and Girdwood and other communities in this area. And we'll have a food drive around that harvest in the fall. But again, I'm using that as an example of something that we're excited about, but also how when nonprofits come together and people and companies and others join those nonprofits, there's a tremendous amount of work we could do that the agency is, we have resources, we're really poised well to do these kinds of things, but the things we often lack are the person power, or maybe the money to buy soil or whatever for a garden, these types of things. So working for the Forest Service in the wilderness study area, I'm really excited about the contributions the Stewardship Foundation makes, because it's allowing us to do what I think is some really great work out there. So Paul, I hope that's a good introduction. I know you were having some technical problems, so I just kind of covered a whole bunch of the projects, but do you want to talk from the Stewardship Foundation standpoint? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thanks.
I'm back. Thanks, Tim. That was Tim Lyden with the Forest Service. So I'm going to talk about the Stewardship Foundation for a few minutes, and then we'll take a break for lunch. The Prince William Sound Stewardship Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit, all volunteer organization. We've been in existence for about 3 years now. This is 3 or 4 years. This is our third Natural History Symposium we've done. We did the first one in Whittier. Last year and this year were online due to the pandemic, and we're really looking forward to being back in person next year in Whittier. Our mission is basically we are dedicated to keeping Prince William Sound healthy, clean, and wild for everybody to enjoy. I've been involved in a lot of boards, and I've been just so impressed by the board and the super volunteers that are involved in the support we get from all the different organizations. And we really encourage people to visit our website, which is princewilliamsound.org. I'm going to try to pull it up here. Let's see if I can do that. And we'll just talk about that for a second, what we do. No, I'm not going to try. I'm a Luddite a little bit when it comes to this kind of stuff. So we'll just talk about what we do. Tim's talked about some of the volunteer opportunities. One of the primary things we do is we're sort of like a clearinghouse for volunteer opportunities from different organizations, whether it's the Forest Service, the City of Whittier, or whoever that comes to us with an idea. We come up with a work plan every year, and then put it up on the website, and people can sign up for these different things. We do like various things like we've talked about: campsite rehabilitation, trail work, invasive species pools, and so forth. Those events are pretty full right now. There's one that still has room. It's campsite hardening and outhouse construction in Blackstone Bay on June 27th through July 1st. So you can go to our website and sign up for that. There's a nominal donation to sort of help you reserve your spot, more or less. And we also encourage people with personal vehicles or vessels to come out and participate. You can also go to the website and find out more information to, like, for instance, there's a beach cleanup out you want to take out, or know of someone that has one, you're more than welcome to join with that. But the spots we have are full at that point. So that's a big thing we do alongside with this with this natural history symposium. Other things that the foundation does is we are fairly active on Facebook and Instagram, so you can join us there and find out what's going on. We have a thing that one of our board members done, Tori Vandermosten, that it's called Fun Fact Friday, and it's on. You can join that, and she sends out a fact or a picture, many times contributed by someone else, and it's usually a natural history or something similar, and then people can sort of learn a little bit about Prince William Sound. Super during COVID and this past winter. We also have a forum, a community forum on Facebook called Prince William Sound Forum, where we really encourage people to go and share what they're doing, what they're seeing, and again, sort of a place for people as part of the community to share what's going on in Prince William Sound. Maybe you have a question about something that's happened out there. Maybe you see something unusual. Maybe you see an unusual marine mammal. A few years ago we had a sperm whale out in the Sound. That was pretty cool. And so that's another thing that we coordinate. Other projects we involve, Tim mentioned the potato garden in Girdwood. We also, the board just approved for us to get involved in helping fund shellfish testing for shellfish poisoning. So we're excited to help out with that effort and maybe expand it and get more testing done out in Prince William Sound. Let's see, what else do I got? I got my list. Obviously, this is on the schedule. Heather Pham. I'm not Heather, so I'm going to look at her notes. Let's see. Natural Symposium. Yeah, and we also are involved. We have a store, which is on our website that we have a lot of great art. A very popular item lately. We've been trying to turn, one of our board members talked about turning trash into art, and I love it. So repurposed stuff. So we've been taking, a few people have been taking plastic fishing buoys and turning them into hanging baskets. Very popular in my household, I'll tell you that. And I think that's it. Tim, do you want to add anything else? There's a link to our website is up there. Anything else you want to add, Tim? A quick rundown.
Yeah, as you were talking, I thought of one other thing. Am I on? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, as you were talking, I remembered one other thing, which is the Leave It Better bags, I think we're calling it, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So the Forest Service, and this is another great example of how the Stewardship Foundation is helping us partner with the public. So we all know, any of us that work or play in Prince William Sound, that it's when you turn up on a beach, it's common that you might find a fire ring with a bunch of trash in it, or maybe some marine debris that's washed up, or just whatever on the beach that someone has left there. And if you're traveling by kayak or small boat, maybe you're in your dinghy or whatever, it's very hard sometimes to haul that stuff out. But there's a list of stores and outfitters in Whittier now that include, I know I'll forget some, so I apologize, but Sound Paddler, Alaska Sea Kayakers, Lazy Otter, Epic Charters, and I'm sure there's a couple others, but there's these yellow Alpar garbage bags available, especially to paddlers who might not be carrying garbage bags anyhow, like someone on a vessel might be, but they're available. And the idea is something that we used to do quite a long time ago, but kind of trailed off. But you can bring these bags. When you find a mess like that, you can clean it up, and you can put that bag above the high tide line, take a photo and a GPS, and then report that bag. There's like Paul's saying, the princewilliamsound.org website. You can report it through there. And the water taxis or the Forest Service, we're all always out there in the Sound in all kinds of different areas. And so if someone collect some garbage. Last year, I really have to hand it to Knowles, National Outdoor Leadership School. Their students on one of the trip, they must have spent at least a couple hours digging out a fishing net somewhere south of Main Bay. And they used the Prince William Sound Forum on Facebook that Paul mentioned. And we were able to go down there in a Forest Service boat and just take the net off the beach that they had dug out. Well, it's the same idea with this leave it better bags. If you're visiting a beach, now you have a tool you can get from the stores in Whittier. Clean up that garbage. If you can't, take it back, leave it on a beach, and through the forum or through the website, you can get that information to us at the Forest Service or the water taxis, and in the course of our usual business, we'll go pick that up. And so it's just another way that we can work together where we're all short-staffed, or maybe you're in your pleasure boat enjoying a day fishing, and it wasn't really your intent to clean a beach and occupy all that stuff aboard your boat, or you can't fit in your kayak, but you can store it on the beach, and we'll help out. So I thought of that one when you were speaking, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, that's a great thing. You can GPS it, the location, take a picture of it, go onto the forum, report it onto our email at princewilliamsound.org, and then we'll get the information to Forest Service. The forum's a great service because you can put it out there, and if people are checking it, the idea is they can just go pick it up. But you definitely want to tie the bag, and you want to get well above high tide line, yet visible, so whoever's coming from on a boat can pick it up. It's also super helpful to have it on a beach that is accessible to a boat or a dinghy. So great, that's wonderful. I'd like to give a little recognition to the people, since we're talking about the event and the foundation. We have a really great board, but in particular, I want to recognize, since I have a moment and I have the soapbox, the organizing committee of this event. It's been a lot of work, and it's been a real pleasure to work with folks. So Tim on screen here has been part of the group, organizing all the speakers, getting our agenda help organized. Betsy Oliver, who you've seen, has been with the regional advisory committee, has been our sort of chief tech person. Tori Vandersomen with Discovery Voyages, she's been also very helpful in all our outreach and working with the group on that. And then William Melton, who's our other behind the scenes person, has been very useful, including putting the video together and helping with outreach. Along with a bunch of other people, Kelly Bender with Lazy Otter, Pete Denmark with Alaska Sea Kayakers, Victor Shen with the City of Whittier, and so forth and so on. Heather Pham has been very involved with the board. She has recently resigned, but also involved with this event. And you'll be seeing much of her this afternoon as the MC. And the list goes on and on of folks that we've been very fortunate to work with this organization. So I think that's it for this morning's sessions. Have anything else to add, Tim? Yep, he's got
Yeah.
I knew he did.
I just have a question, Paul. How is membership going? I think the foundation's now a membership group, and what if I wanted to support the foundation?
Very good.
What do I do?
You can go to our website and at princewilliamsound.org and become a member for all of $25 or more if you'd like to donate more. So that's how you could become a member. And we appreciate everybody. If you can't afford the $25, that's fine. But we appreciate any and all donations. We've been able to support other efforts through donations. And I think this, as far as an organization, we're pretty amazing what we've done in a couple of years. So we appreciate your support. And if you're a business and want to become a sponsor, we're also available for that also. So. All right, well, if I don't see any questions about the symposium or activities this summer, we'll take a break for a half hour. Next up at 1 o'clock, what do we got? We have a background and updates on the Barrier Arm landslide with Brent Higman and David Snide. And so we'll look forward to that. And then to go on with the afternoon. After that session, that's 1 to 1:45. At 1:45, we have Prince William Sound weather. We have a concurrent session, or a brief history of Whittier. So that's comes up this afternoon. So thank you all, and we'll take a little break. And there'll be a slideshow during the break about killer whales from Dan Olson. He was great. Presented last year, was not able to join us this year, so gave us a slideshow. And so stay tuned for that. And get up and stretch your legs and give yourself a little break from the screen. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.